Good morning, everyone. Welcome to APU Industry Career Live webinar session. My name is Colin from Asia Pacific University of Technology and Innovation, and I'm your host for this session. Today is our second day of the webinars, and this is the first session of the day. For those who have missed out our session yesterday, feel free to watch replay our Facebook and YouTube page. And our webinar series cover in the field of AI and big data, cybersecurity, engineering, psychology, fintech, actuarial study, digital marketing, creative design, and many more. While waiting for more people to join our live session today, I would like to invite you to join our APU e-Open Day. Our counselor are ready to guide you through all the available pathway for further study after SPM or UEC or IGCSE. For more information and updates, please visit to our website and also follow our Facebook page. Today, we are proud to have Mr. Omega Yuan, who is the Chief Technology Officer from Sinovi, and also Associate Professor Wong Bison and Dr. Chen Taekwon from APU School of Computing, again with us to tell you more about the careers in games design and development. Welcome, Mr. Omega, Bison, and also Dr. Ken.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yep. Over to you, Ms. Wan.
All right, thanks, Colleen. I would like to echo what Colleen has said. Welcome, everybody. Those who are online now, a really warm welcome. And for those who may watch this a little bit later, welcome as well. My name is Swan. I'm the head for School of Computing. Today, we are very fortunate to have Mr. Omega Yuan here with us. He's our industrial partner. I would let him tell you a little bit about his background, and we also have got a academic someone from the academic team. Dr. Chen is here. We call him Ken. Yeah, that's Superman Ken. Yeah, so he's he's leading in the computer games development program. Just a little bit about Mr. Yuan here, Omega. He has got a master's in business administration. And after graduating from his degree is in multimedia. I think his specialty is in computer games area. He also has won a lot of awards. Now I'm going to refer to my notes on his award because I don't want to make it wrong. He has won the prize of Best in Show Audience Choice Casual Connect Award in 2016. This is the Indie Prize. So I think this is one of it, and he has also won the others. And this title is actually against 100 nominated gaming companies across the globe. So I think that is a very prestigious award. And also he's currently is the CEO for Sinovi. And I think I saw some of the pictures of his company and the things that they do in the companies. It looks like there's a lot of fun. Well, computer games is something, whenever I speak about computer games development, a lot of students the eyes will sparkle and say, whoa, computer games. And when I speak to not just students, a lot of teenagers, a lot of people, non-students as well, I think a lot of us play games. I do, but of course, I don't play the competitive games. I play the casual games. I think Dr. Ken here, Ken is also a very big game player. Not sure about Omega, but I'm pretty sure that he does play if he still have got time. If you know that he's sitting on the gamer chair that you know. Yeah. So as I say, whenever I talk about computer games, a lot of people, their eyes will sparkle, they will lit up, they'll be like, yes, games, But however, then I would say, would you like to pursue a career in computer games development? That's when people get a bit, the parents will usually ask me, would I be able to find a job? Yeah. Would that be very difficult? That's why we have Mr. Omega here to demystify this a little bit, to tell you what kind of careers that you can venture into and what you do exactly. So as I said, Omega he is from the industry, so he will let you know a little bit more about that areas. If you're a gamer, if you want to pursue a games career, is it possible in Malaysia? Do I have to go overseas? Or, what do I do? Do I just play games all the time? Some of the parents think that, you have to play games day and night. They say, no, this is maybe not a good idea because it's addictive. So what exactly is this computer games development career, in this aspect? We have a expert here to explain to you on that further. And Ken, in case you do not know, APU has been running computer games development program for a long time. I think for more than 15 years now. So that means that we are well facilitated, both in resources, in terms on staff strength as well. So Ken has been with us for a long time as well in this area. So his passion is in games, and he's also teaching a lot of games modules. So he will enlighten you with a little bit of what do you actually learn in computer games, beside getting to know the games and whatnot. So I hope you guys are all ready to hear from the experts from both ends of the world. We will take any questions if you have. Just put it into the chat. We will answer those questions either in between our breaks or at the end of the sessions. We will invite Mr. Omega to speak first, and then Dr. Ken, and then we will wrap it up. All right, so sit tight and enjoy the talk. Omega, over to you. Thank you.
All right, so okay, so is it ready?
Yes, we can see your slides. No problem.
Okay, so hi guys. Again, I'm Omega from Shinobi, a game development studio that based in Malaysia. So before I have a little bit of explanation about ourselves and also at Shinobi. So Shinobi, I mentioned, is a game development company. So we make games for others and also for ourselves. We develop our own IP as well. And these are some of the games that we've done before. And of course, in our company, we also provide gamification services and also interactive software development as well as system development for our client. And also these are some of the projects that we have done in the past few years, right? So, and this is who we are. This is our company. Currently, we have around 18 full-time employees that working in the company. And as you look at the pictures here, most of them actually are quite young, all right? Because we need a young mind to help us to in the creative side. All right. So things is this, you see, a lot of people are giving excuses that okay, it's not that I want to play game. I don't know why I just want to play game. You can be honest to yourself. Actually, game is fun because everybody want to enjoy, right? They want to have fun in their life, so they want to escape from reality. That's why you play game, which is fine. But the thing is, different people have different kind of perspective on different kind of gamer is. So your friend might think that you are just doing nothing, right? Of course, your parents will always think that you are just sitting in front of a computer and doing nothing as well. And what other people think that because maybe you're playing too much like games like GTA and stuff like that, then you go out and kill someone, right? Other big company, they think that you guys are actually a good people for them to fish more money, right? And you, of course, yourself, when you play game, you always think that you are a superhero, that you can do many things in the game. You're the best guy in the world that can save the whole world with you, right? But actually what we really do is true. We're just sitting in front of a computer playing the games, right? So what about game developers? Okay, for game developers, my friend, they always think that I'm just having fun, enjoy here and there. And my mom, again, always think that I'm just sitting there playing games. But I think it's somewhat true also. I always use this excuse to tell my mom that I'm not playing game, I am doing my research. Right? But how it is true lah. Okay, I'm still enjoying. And of course, what people think that society think that you actually earning a lot of money. Because if you look at all the games that is popular game out there, right, they're making millions of money every month. For example, if I'm not mistaken, a game called Clash Royale. Last time, the moment when they launched, they're making close to 90 million per month, which is crazy. And also, what your client always if they think you do that, you're doing nothing. And of course, what I think I do in the company is I'm the one who create the entire thing. But that's not true though. Actually, what we really do is we are sitting in front of a computer, scratching our head, how to solve the problem that we are facing when we're making games. All right, but I will explain more on that why we are sitting in front of the computer, scratching our head. All right. So before we go into that, let me show you some good, some fancy stuff about game industry. People like to see this. This is a number that we got from Newzoo based on 2016, right? This is just the game industry in terms of revenue is close to 100 of billions. The number itself actually is much more than animation and film combined. This is just for games only. And fast forward 5 years later, which is now, the number grew to 175 billion, almost 200 billion. All right. Why is it keep on why is it happen? This happened. Actually, it's predicted that the number will go even higher in the coming years as well, because of the readiness of technology. Because nowadays, it's very easy. The technology is very accessible. Basically, almost everyone have smartphone. And even though I saw a lot of kids, right, the young kids, or even though baby, they have iPad seats in front of them playing mini games or educational games. So that means that more and more people exposed to this technology, right, more opportunity for the gaming industry. That's why we predicted it will keep on growing. So this is a summary of the revenue, total income of the game industry itself, right? And it keep on increasing. This is cool. All right. So, and some of you might not know that, okay, yeah, you see a lot of games out there, a lot of big titles. Maybe this one, I'm not sure that you guys see this before or not, but it's a very popular title, Uncharted, exclusively for PlayStation. You know that a lot of game is done by overseas other company, but actually not really. This game itself actually got Malaysia company involved in that, which is done by, if I'm not mistaken, is from Malaysian Republic, right? They actually helped on this project. And not only this, Spider-Man Remastered, Warcraft Reforged, Street Fighter, this is very, very cool title. Anyway, it's very famous title. I mean, a lot of people will know this. And of course, Final Fantasy, right? All these games actually, Malaysian company actually does involve in this, and especially Final Fantasy as well. Okay, it's by Streamline actually. The company is in Microsoft. You can actually Google it if you want to really check out on that. So what I'm showing here is that a lot of games that you're playing out there, you might not know that actually is made by Malaysian. You might not know, right? So there's a lot of opportunity here. So, but all right, so it's very, very cool all this game. But how do we make the games? Okay, this is the hardest part here. Okay, so before we go into that, let's see what you need to actually make a game, right? So to make a game, you need these three core members: the game designer, a programmer, and an artist. Well, of course you can do it yourself, but I don't think that you can handle the stress. If you think you are able to do that, by all means you can try. But trust me, it's really difficult. So for game designer, what they do is actually they're not drawing. They're not the one who draw the game. They're the one who come up with the idea, how you play the game, how user will experience about the game. That's what the game designer do. And then after that, game programmer is the one who actually create the system, create the mechanic, create the gameplay, which is what the designer has designed. And then lastly, the artist is the one who visualize the concept, the graphic for you to see. So you see all this pretty art and nice graphics, right? It's all done by artists. There's not only two of them. Once you've done the game, right, you still need more people to help you. You need a copywriter, right? Why you need a copywriter? Because if you ask me to actually write all the content, the dialogue in the game, right, I don't think I can do it very well. You have to have someone really good in writing to help you do that. Because if I remember correctly, I learned most of my language, actually my English, through playing games. Why? Because when I play a game, I couldn't pass the level because everything is written in English. Right? So I will try to find dictionary. Okay, try to find the meaning of this particular word. What is the further mean? Then I can actually solve it. So I learned from there. And of course, you need a technical guy to help you in case the server is down, anything issue or whatever. Then the technical guy will help you on that. And lastly, you need someone with a good marketing background to help you to promote the game. Because at the end of the day, it's all about making money, right? If you don't have the money, how do you feed your team? So marketing guy will be the one who promote your game out to the market. So these are the core members that usually working on the game itself. So let me go in depth of how we actually make a game. So for example, let's say you and your colleague, you have an idea to make a game. So you come up with a concept. Before you actually make the game, right, you have to do a proof of concept. A very simple, the block of Lego, a paper craft, or anything that if you are a programmer, that you can maybe create a very simple gameplay of it just to try it out. If you think that the idea is good, then only you proceed with. If not, then you come back to the concept. come up with an idea and think again. Okay, if everything is good, then we come down to plan out the game mechanics and then also the story and the progression of the game itself. The next thing is split the production up. For the artist, you need a graphic designer and 3D, if you're doing 3D game, to do the visual, the sound artist to do the audio for you, the copywriter to write the story, and also the programmer to code the functions and the module. So then combine them together, then you have your games, right? But it's not complete yet. You still need to test, play it and then test it and keep on polish it. You played it, you test it. If it's not nice, then you come back to polish, then test again, then polish and test again. Eventually, if you find the thing is ready, then you can finish the game and then publish it. But usually, this term finish is not really doesn't really appear in our environment, because there's always something better. Every day you have something new you want to actually improve into your game. So that's why that is the big cycle of it. So come back to this is some video of the game development. I call it the crazy Bermuda Triangle. As you see in the center, this is actually what happening most of the time in the game development, right? You have the idea, you start your pre-production, then you start doing the game, then you start testing. If you test the game is not nice enough, then you start again, then you fix the game again, then you do production again, then you test the game again. If you still got issue, then you come back to the design, then create a function, then test again. So this is a very crazy cycle. Okay, eventually, okay, you think the game is ready, you go for beta. Then when the public think that your game is not good enough, they give you the feedback, then you have to come back and design and then test again. So this is a very crazy cycle during the game development. So eventually, if your game is ready, then you can release. All right. So you ask, okay, what do you get when you take in this career path, right? So if you go through the game development career, when you graduated, this is actually what you can look for in a job. It can be game designer, engine developer, programmer, level artist, 3D modeler, texture designer, animator, voice actor, musician, utility developer, IT guy, or much more. But of course, even though you are not in the game career as well, you can still join the industry. You can be a marketing guy, or the community manager, or even customer service. But at least you need to have passion for that, right? And when you join a company, right, there is actually different type of company that you can actually look into. So this is the example of it, and some of my opinion as well. So usually there's a big company who do the big project, like you see just now for this, like Spider-Man and stuff like that. Usually they are a big company. In this company, you don't have to worry about the salary. You have regular payment every month because it's a big project. So usually we work with a very big team, usually hundreds of them. But of course, you don't own anything about the game because it's a client project and also belong to the company as well. Sometimes it's not even belong to the company, it's belong to the client. Then the other one is called indie, the independent game developer. In Malaysia, actually, there's a lot as well. Basically, for indie, there's a big indie team, there's a small indie team. So what they do is you and your friend or the different partner, they come together, they want to make games, right? Then you start doing it on your own free time or on your own cost. Sometimes you might get paid, you might not get paid. Depends on the team as well. So the good thing about this is that if you really make it, if the game is really good, if you out there, if you're really making money, you get a share, you get the ownership of the game because you are part of the team. But of course, there's a risk as well because you don't get any paid. If the game is nothing, then it's nothing. All right, and then the other one is contract game developer, or you can say it's a freelancer. So usually, game company, if you're very good in some things like art or maybe programming, they will hire you as a freelancer just to do the particular job. Again, they don't own anything because you usually do it on your own free time. All right. So good news here. I mentioned actually the game industry in Malaysia are actually growing. One of the company that have all the big project in Sky, they are actually hiring as well. This screenshot actually I got it I think last month. They're still hiring, and of course PlayStation Malaysia also hiring as well. Senior concept artist. Last few weeks I got this news from Facebook also. They are working on something big. I'm not sure what project though, but actually it's a cool thing. And of course, Bandai Namco. I'm not sure that you guys heard of the company or not. It's a very popular company. Some of you might not know that they actually have a branch in Malaysia. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's somewhere nearby Paradigm Mall. They are hiring character modeler, environment modeler, senior artists, and also animator. Right. So these are all the big companies that have in Malaysia. They're actually much more. In my Facebook post, actually, time to time I saw a lot of poster that they are hiring game developer, they are hiring game artists, they are hiring animator. So there's a lot of opportunity there. All right. So I think that's all for what I want to share. I think we can start questioning if you want.
Right? Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, Omega. I think that's an eye opener for a lot of you. I hope. I think the life cycle, development life cycle, actually give the opportunity for everyone to see the potential of job prospects in there. I especially like one of it, tester. Some of you are really into playing games, so you may not, after you graduate, you may not really want to do the really developing it, but you can be a tester. Just play, just keep playing, and then give feedback. Is that what the job is all about, Omega?
Usually yes.
Yeah.
Usually yes.
Yeah. So I think that's quite an exciting one. Or maybe some of you, you do not want to really do the development job. You can be a marketeer. You market the games, you package it, you market it, and because you are in a computer games program, you'll be able to market it really well. Or a writer, a technical writer, so write the story about because I think games is all about storytelling, story playing, isn't it? Am I right, Omega? Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Story. Actually, it's kind of like you're watching a movie, but instead of watching it, you're actually going through the experience yourself.
Yeah, there you go. So that's why games is so big, because it's a way for people to get into the different life that they may not be able to experience in real life. Yeah, so you can be the technical writer. So, you may not want to do the development. You do not want to create the games, but you can be writing about the game. So I think all of us have got different talents, even though we are in one program, but you can still branch out into a lot of different things to do. I think if there's any questions from the audience, we can take them now. But otherwise, I think, Omega, you have got a few more slides to share with us. Yeah.
No, I think that's all.
Oh, that's the one. All right. I remember seeing that you actually showing the lifestyle of working in the companies and whatnot. Yeah. Okay. All right. As I said, and another one that caught my eye is also being the sound engineer, or the person who composed the music for the games. These are also one of the area for people who like music, who likes to try their hands on creating the music. Yeah, the soundtrack. In a games, you can have background music, you can have dialogues, you can have games related sound, and all those someone got to create them, not download it from somewhere. Yeah. So if you are into the sound, the music area, so you can be also the music composer for games. Yeah, so I think that's pretty exciting. All right, now then, if there's no question from the audience, we can always move on. I think when I talk about all this, summarizing what Omega has spoken on, is also addressing a lot of the questions that I've been hearing over the years from students, from parents. So I'm just picking up from what Omega has presented and just make it in a way that answering to a lot of questions that I have been hearing over the years. Okay, so now I'm going to pass it to Kent to let you guys know a little bit on what APU does, what we focus on. Yeah. So Ken, over to you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Maybe you're wondering what actually the student will do in the classroom. So today I'm going to discuss a little bit on the games development. Okay. So before we kickstart on what the student will do in the classroom, maybe we're going to take a look on the comparison between the movie and the games. As we know, movie basically deal with graphic and audio, and the main difference between games and movie is games actually have interaction. Okay, that's why because of this kind of interaction, then we need to program it. Okay, program it using different kinds of the tool, combine it so that we identify the input, for example, from the keyboard, then it mix it up. Eventually, you come with the interaction. Okay, so what you will learn from the games development degree program, basically categorized in 3 levels. The first level basically is the first year. Okay, the student will learn more on documentation. Okay, how the student review the games, and then the student will learn how to design the levels. The student also learn the basic programming so that to get prepared for the year 2, so that they will go to into the intermediate programming, which is also learn a little bit detail on data structure, and then they will go through a little bit on basic game mechanics, which is deal with characters, items or environment, and then they will try to work on the level setup as a whole. Eventually, the outcome from the level 2, the student able to make the mini game project. And for year 3, the student will explore advanced object-oriented programming. They will learn in-depth programming, how to code the entire full game. And at the end, it involves also the testing. So if we talk about the game interaction, basically it categorized into 3 things that the student need to explore. For example, how to make the character walk, how to make the character run, attack. If you want to make items that actually have advantage or disadvantage to the character, so we also need to identify this kind of the mechanics. And of course, we also need to involve the game environment. For example, the island, river, where the character want to utilize the access of the roads. Okay, so with all these mechanics, okay, eventually we also need to combine with the interface so that the games looks like easy to access on the main page, option setting. For example, you want to configure the graphic setting, audio setting, okay, and then we also have this kind of the level selection for the game, in-game UI, for example, health system, currency, and weapon. So let's take a look of the character mechanics. We can actually identify how the character in the idle mode, okay, running, jumping, all these kind of the mechanics actually have a different kind of the images that interact together, including walking, attacking, and if the character dead, okay, so it also come with different animation. So that's all these things that we need to program into the game environment. And then we also have this kind of the item mechanics, for example, the weapon system, portion to prolong the character life, okay. And then we also have this kind of the, achievement so that the character can pick up some gems, coins, all those things. So all these are the item mechanics. And then we also have the environment mechanics, how the games designer design the environment, where are we going to put the trees, the rivers, okay, in order to make all this game environment more interesting. Here are some of the basic games development program. Okay, at the beginning, we will need to identify how the character works, how to identify the walking, okay, how to identify the input so that we can actually interact with the game environment. And then next, we need to design the environment. Okay, so this is kind of the sample, how we can design the wall and how we can design the walkway for the character. Okay, And then we also have this kind of the environment mechanics. For example, spike area where the character go through it, it will have a disadvantage on the health system. The character can also pick up some items, okay, open some chest box. And then we also deal with the AI, okay. So if the character want to fight against the AI to go to into more levels in depth, then we also need to create this kind of the AI, including the bosses, okay. Now, you may actually wondering, instead of the classroom learning lesson, what the student will actually learn outside the classroom. We used to organize this kind of the annual event. One of the annual event from the games is called Game Fest. Okay, this is launched in 2018. The student will actually organize a competition, game competition, including all this kind of e-sport games. The student also need to create this kind of the analog games. One of the module from the computer games development is called analog games. So they need to create this kind of the non-digital games so that they can actually put it into the event and let the public to play it. We also have the student actually organize this kind of the haunted house. The student also participated in this kind of the e-sport competition, okay, in 2016. And then a group of the student, the name called UC Tuimo, and this student is called Adrian Sim. This student actually created the game called Flare Rider, and up to now, it's already achieved more than millions of downloads. Okay, and in this environment, I think their student actually attended the Japan Tokyo Game Show. I would like to also show there's some of the student books. Okay, one of the student book called Risky Land is a platformer games, 2D platformer games, and involve a little bit of puzzle. And another group of students also created a action 2D game which is called Void Bat. Let me share the screen of the games. I think I already.
Yes, can see.
This is a boss fight, which is a COVID 39, sorry. This is another second game. The character need to collect the coins, then go to the destination. And this is a boss fight. Okay. Yeah, this one is a gameplay video which go in a little bit more detail on the levels and the UI. As you can see, the center button is the special mechanic, which is a slow down. So sometimes the character getting difficult to go through the enemy, then you can use a special mechanics to slow down the entire environment, including the AI. Okay, I think you can see there's a character using the special mechanic. This is the slowest mechanics, which is consume the loading bar here. So they come with the cooldown. You cannot spam the slowing. So after it come back with the full loaded, then you can use again the mechanics. And then this is the boss fight. So the character need to collect all the coins and go to the first checkpoint first to kill the arms. After killing the arm, then you have to go to the second destination to kill the boss. And the character also need to dodge all the bullets. And the student also create some of the bonus level. Okay, this one is a bit tricky. Okay, the level design basically is the character need to go to the destination, but there's no visible game environment mechanic. It's actually mirror from the bottom, and it's actually hidden. Okay, I think that's it for the presentation.
Okay, all right. Thanks. Ken is certainly very, very passionate about his students' work and all those. You know, when he say that's the kill the boss in the end is actually the finale. So that's the best of the games. Yeah. So as I said, you can see the passion that he has for all the students' work and whatnot. So I think thank you very much, Ken. I think you have give a very detailed explanation on what students will learn, and that leads to the games creation. I think the games that you show, the students are still in their second year, isn't it? Not even in their final year.
Now it's in final year.
Final year, okay, all right. And I think this is done in a very small group of 4 students only. So that's why like what Omega has said earlier on, games usually is being developed by hundreds of people. So these are all 4 students. I think for a students level, these are really pretty cool, well-developed games. And I think Ken also has showed some of the fun elements into the study life. You know, having game fairs. I think game fairs usually we have a lot of talks as well, and we have a lot of games. Those games are being designed by students, including analog games. The analog games are I must say, is very interesting. So we are so used to digital game, we forgot about analog games. So when you see the students creatively come up with all those analog games, and it usually pull a lot of crowd. Our game fest will have a very big crowd. Yeah, students will like to come and visit. Okay, I do have a couple of questions for Omega. I'm not sure whether there's some question from the audience, but I do have. I know you show us the statistic on the growth in the games industry, but personally, like in you, you also run a games company. What's your confidence level in terms on the growth of the game industry in Malaysia, particularly?
I think the number there is true. We also can see that, and it summarized that in Malaysia game industry actually is growing and is still developing. That's why I can see more different companies coming into Malaysia. And I don't have the list here, but if I'm not mistaken, there is by today I think there is around 90 to over hundreds of game company that actually have in Malaysia.
90
right?
to 100, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, last time I think a few years ago I think that's less than 10, and now I keep on adding the number as a number show. So this means that the potential is there lah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think personally, I think I am very confident that the numbers will definitely grow. I'm talking in Malaysia, yeah, but not worldwide, because worldwide we know is growing like crazy. It's just Malaysia is now picking up.
That's Malaysia. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Malaysia. We are now picking up. I know MDAC has also put in a lot of efforts in growing the industry. We work with MDAC very closely, APU, under the Premium Digital University. In fact, if you have joined us, some of you may or may not have joined us the talk last week. We actually have got experts from MDAC itself. MDAC also bringing a lot of foreign companies into Malaysia in terms on getting us to collaborate with them. I think Double 11 is one of them. Yeah, so we put in a lot of MDAC put in a lot of investment into the games industry as well, not just in the creative industry, including the games and all. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, one more question for you. So if let's say a student wants to sounds good, this games industry, I want to go into that, but I actually don't play games, is that okay? Which is quite rare for someone who don't play, but yeah, let's say I don't play, or would that be a disadvantage, or would that be okay?
Not really though, but depends on a particular job that he or she is looking at lah. If he's telling me that he is a designer but he don't really play game, then the question will be there lah. So how do you play a game if you don't play enough game to know what a game should be, right? So it depends on the job that you're looking at. But definitely, at least I mean, you don't have to play. You can actually study how games work. It is fine as well. But at least you need to have knowledge in game lah.
Right. Okay. I think that goes back to the interest as well. I take that as a positive point, because you remember earlier on I said, I think almost 10 out of 10 people that I speak to, people means adults, kids or students, they do play games one way or another. So I think I can say a lot of us actually do play. So if you do, and if you start to notice the design of the game and what genre you like, then I suppose then if students who wants to get into it, then it helps that if you play, it will encourage you on how to design the games. Just like Ken here, because he's also a gamer himself. He play quite a lot, and I think, and rightfully now he's also teaching and guiding students on how to design the game. That complement each other, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. What are the other characteristics that you think someone should have in becoming getting involved in the game industry? Omega?
I think the most important thing that a person need to have is to be responsible to things that he or she is doing. Because again, to join the industry, there's take a lot of passion. Some people, they join is for the sake of just joining the company and just getting the salary, and that's it. But in game are very different, because a lot of things that cannot be shown or we can't really teach you every single task. So you yourself have to be responsible on what you are doing. You have to make it good. For example, let's say I always use this example to tell my students and also my staff as well. If I ask you to create your buttons in the game, right, you yourself have to understand that the button have to make sense. You don't simply just put it somewhere else, right? You have to put it somewhere, it makes sense. And then when you create a button, if you play game or whatsoever, right, when you click on it, it should have sound, right? This one, don't need the designer, don't need the artist or whoever to tell you this is needed, right? Because it looked good for the game. It looked good for the game. So as long as you have the responsibility to make things good, then I think that's the most important thing.
I think it's putting the paying
The effort.
attention to details.
Yes, the details, yes.
and focus and all this. Yeah. Okay.
I saw a question there. I'm not sure. Is it asking? There's someone, Tiffany L, asking, does the career prospect of games development increasing, especially during
this COVID
pandemic? And any other example of company that game students go for the internship? Oh yeah. All right. I think I can have answer on this as well. During the pandemic, if you notice, a lot of people are staying home playing games, right? I think the first very early of the pandemic, during that particular moment, actually, a lot of game project coming out. A lot of people want to make mini games and stuff like that. So yes, there is a slight spike during the pandemic. There's a slight spike on that. This is what's happening to us, but I'm not sure about the company. Of course, there's a lot of company in Malaysia. I mentioned there's about 90 to 100 of company that actually in Malaysia. But I don't have the list with me now. Maybe the moment when you join the campus, then they will share it to you also. So
yeah, I think
there is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Omega, you mentioned Bantai Nampo. I think we have students who apply there to do interns and as well. Yeah, among others. Maybe Ken, would you be able to name maybe a couple or more companies that you know of that students go for interns at APU?
I think previously in last 2 months, there's one student work as an intern in Shinobi as well. His name is called Lucas. I'm not sure whether you Omega, you realize this student or not. Another Lemon Sky, I've seen some student work in Lemon Sky and Streamline Studio, App Explore as well.
Yeah.
All these are the core, the kind of a big company that the student will go for.
Yeah, and a lot of indie companies as well, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I also want to highlight one thing. I think Ken has mentioned some programming language that students would learn. I think one of the students also learn about the Unity and Unreal Games engine. Yeah, during their study. I think the student is asking games company, but I also like to highlight that for games students, they can also work in other industry, not limited to games industry. Like I said, the Unity and Unreal Games engines, which the students learn specifically in the games program, these games engines now are being used in other industry. For example, in the automobile industry, Audi, BMW are using it as modeling. It's being used in architecture company as well, more for visual and modeling, adding on with AR, VR. That's also part of our program, AR, VR, under another program, but under the same school. Architecture, all those people are using that as well. So it's not just limited to the games company. So with this program, you can also venture into different companies. Yeah. Is there other questions, Colin?
Yes, so we have one more question.
Okay.
Are all the modules designed based on competency-based or a mixture of academic discourse?
Ken, you want to answer that?
Yes. I think most of the module that we design, we need to compare against a lot of this kind of the industry, because we have to identify what are the industry need, so that we can actually fit into the manpower. For example, if the industry need Unity to have game development, then we need to explore this kind of the technology and tools. So of course, we need to identify this kind of the competency together with the industry. That's why industry actually is a close partner with university. so that we can actually identify a good program and including all the modules in it.
Yeah. If I also add something into this, I think game industry is a very fast moving one. I'm sure Omega agree with me. Very, very fast. It's like, a lot of people, after I play this 2 times, 3 times, I master already. So where do I go to? So because of the fast pace, we also need to keep up with that. But to answer the question in a very straightforward manner, yes, it's a mixture. Like what Ken has mentioned as well, we work with the industry. Working with the industry is really to keep us up to date, keep us on the toes on what is happening out there, and we are also very well facilitated at the campus. When I asked Omega about what are the characteristics, he mentioned some of the. He mentioned the students need to be responsible. I think that also we emphasize a lot on team working, technical ability, presentation skill, and also commercial and sector awareness. That's why we have this talk. That's why we invited the industry people to come in to let everybody knows what is happening out there. Yeah, I know the time is up. Then I think I will thank you very much, Omega, for spending your precious Saturday morning with us, and as well as Ken showing us all his passion in computer games development and also guiding the students in producing very exciting games. Thank you both. Going back to you, Colleen.
All right. Thank you for your sharing, Mr. Omega, Ms. Swan, and also Dr. Ken. So time is almost over now, and our session going to end here. We're going to have the next session with the topic of future-proofing your career with Industry Revolution 4.0 at 12 p.m. later. So stay tuned and follow our Facebook page for more updates. Once again, come to join our APUE Open Day, and thank you very much everyone for joining with us on this live session today. Take care and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.